All right, Coach, big win over West Texas A&M. Really dominant from start to finish. Seems like y'all came out a little slow in the first half considering how many yards that y'all put up. Didn't really translate to points, but just give me your overall thoughts on the just overall dominant performance.
Well, I thought we played well. We did. It was challenging, a little bit with the weather. Some of that stuff was there. But, it's hard to – I went for it on a few times on fourth down. Maybe I should have kicked field goals. Last week I was saying I probably shouldn't have kicked field goal. But I went for it on a fourth down. We got stopped. That could have put some more points on the board. But, in the first half, we went up and down the field. I mean, we really did. I mean, we ended up on the day rushing for close to 400 yards. And, we threw for 100 and whatever it was. But, we dropped 3 touchdown passes. We did. Like, in the hands, dropped 3 touchdown passes. So, that's something that was frustrating with it. But I think offensively, I think we end up with like 550 or something like that in total offense. We did some great things. Defensively, we were solid all day. They had a hard time moving the football against us, and it's hard to run the football against us. And then, they had to pass protect and that kind of stuff too when they got behind. Felt like they had to throw it a little bit more, and they did. But all around, just a great football game. Proud of the way the guys played, and the energy level was through the roof, man. It really was. And I told them before the game, we went outside with the elements. I said, the coldest team's going to lose today. If you go out there and you're cold and trying to play football, you're going to lose. And our kids weren't cold. Our kids went out there and played well, and the energy was unbelievable. So that's what we needed to get back on the winning track, and hopefully that moves us forward in the upcoming weeks.
Coach, and talk about the response. Of course, last week it was a huge letdown in such a close game that it was a great football game, but just didn't go your way. Some of these guys could have come out there with something not exactly to play for, almost. I know the season's not over, but the response was incredible. Just talk about the resiliency of your team.
Well, I expected that. I really did, because this program, the people that have played before them have built this to where it is. That would have been a disrespectful thing to not come out and play well and not come out and play how we're used to playing. Even in our losses this year, I think we played well at times. We just had some crucial mistakes and situations that didn't go our way, but that's football. But if they didn't come out and play that way, I'd have been very disappointed, because that would have been a program thing, I think, more than it would have been a single game thing. And we have good players, we have guys, we have good leadership in the locker room. So I think that them coming out and responding the way they did was something I expected them to do, but very happy it happened too.
And Coach, last question here from me. Going in, you're hosting Midwestern State this year. This is another team that they usually match up well against. Just go ahead and talk to me about what you expect from Midwestern State this weekend.
Yeah, they're a good football team. They played a tough schedule. I think they're sitting at 4-4 right now. They're built like us. They play really good defense. Offensively, they like to run the football, and they got 2 really good running backs doing that. Their O-line does a good job with it. They're just kind of a grinded-out type team, and they've lost some really close games this year. So, we don't underestimate them at all. We understand what they are and how they play. Coach Maskell's been doing it a long time, and there's a reason he's been doing it a long time, because he wins games and has great seasons. And this group is young for him. He's got some new starters in there. He had his quarterback. He didn't have a kid in the program that had started a game for him up till this year. So, they're getting better and better each week, and they're a scary opponent. And our guys will have to come out and have a great week of practice and have the same intensity and energy to go out and compete against Midwestern.
Y'all held the Buffs to a field goal the whole entire game, except right there in the end where they got in.
Yeah.
I think it was like a minute 30 to go.
Yeah.
You hang your hat on defense. How have you seen them grow week in and week out? I know we talk about it probably every week, them doing something different out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I just think that the preparation that they have going into it, what Coach Clark and the staff on defense does each week, to get these guys ready to play, the focus and what they have to take away. That field goal they scored too was after a muff punt. So that was, we gave them a short field, and they actually kicked a 40-yard field goal. They went backwards and then ended up kicking a field goal. So that was their points, and then they got a long run on us. I think they ended up with 170 yards of offense, and they had a 70-yard touchdown run the last play of the game for them on offense. So that's the way it goes sometimes. But defensively, the effort and the preparation leading up into the game week to week is outstanding, and it's something that you have to hang your hat on. If you don't have a good defense, it doesn't matter how good your offense is. It really doesn't. And, to have a great defense to keep the score to a reasonable number is what you have to do to win college football games, and in my opinion, win any football games. So I'm really proud of them and their efforts, and hope to continue that down the road.
And then a bounce back win, 513 yards of offense, Cason Phillips and Gardner with over 100 yards, and so many guys to attribute this win to.
Yeah.
What are you wanting to see from your offense, or what are you wanting them to take from this week's game or last week's game into this week's game?
I think just the intensity part of it. It was so good getting Cason Phillips back and getting him going again. He's worked so hard to get back into the season of playing, and I couldn't be more proud of him. Stepping in, and he's had a tough road in the sense of injuries and that kind of thing, and he's just done an awesome job of getting back. But if you take a look at the 400 yards of rushing, I think it was 396. I'd be amiss if I didn't talk about the offensive line play. They just did a great job of blocking up front all day. The tight ends, the receivers. When you run for 400, everybody's got to be on the same page in what we're trying to get accomplished, and they did a great job with it. We brought in both the other younger quarterbacks at the end, or not at the end, throughout the game, and they had some rushing yards. Chad had, I think, close to 60 yards or something like that rushing. Stoney came in and had some rushing yards too, and threw a really good football on one of the pass plays too. So, just really proud of our execution on offense all the way through. There's a couple things we dropped a few passes. We got to clean that up. Everybody said, well, the weather was bad, and that's true, but you're still, if you're a receiver, a prerequisite is catching the football and being a receiver. So, but I trust that group. It's a great group of receivers. We'll get it cleaned up and bounce back, but just really proud of them.
And then my last question, you mentioned Midwestern State. They're a similar team to y'all. When I look at them on their schedule, the games that they've excelled at, they're the games that y'all have excelled at. The games they've dropped, they're the games that y'all have dropped in close battles. What do the Rams need to do to stay in this win column this weekend?
Just go out and execute. It really does. And you're right. They've won the games they should have won on that part of it, and they've lost some tight ones against some good football teams. And I see them as a very dangerous football team. I really do. And when you can run the football and you play pretty good defense, which they do, that's a good recipe, to win games. So, for us to go out there and win that football game, we're going to have that great energy, go out and practice well this week, the preparation parts on both sides of it to be ready to go, and then going out and executing and doing what we're supposed to do, and first play to the last play is the most important play. It doesn't matter, which one it is. You got to go out and play great football and be consistent. So that's the biggest thing that we're going to be looking for this week, and going 1-0.
Coach, I was going to ask, just because I wanted to know this. You mentioned that some fourth downs you should have kicked the field goal, others should have went for it. Are you an analytics guy when it comes to that? Are you a game flow guy? Are you a little bit of both? What do you?
I would definitely say more a game flow guy with it. We're blessed with a great field goal kicker here. If you take a look at his numbers, he's outstanding this year with it. There was one time going into the win that I was kind of felt like we were right at that borderline of doing it, so we actually ended up going for it on, thinking it was a one down instead of, it was third down coming up. I wasn't going to go third and fourth, because usually if it's 2 down territory, the option to run the football's there on third, because then you're going to go for it on fourth. It was a 3rd and 10, and I felt like, hey, we'll probably try to kick this field goal. Well, I think we took a sack, and then we had to punt it. So I'm more of a game flow type deal with it and how you feel. We scored so fast in the first, that second drive going down. Alfred hit him on an outside zone and ran in for a touchdown. Then we got down there again, and I went for it because I just felt like, that was the right time. Getting another touchdown instead of a field goal, kind of puts a lot of pressure on them offensively, and we didn't get the first down. So it's just kind of how the game's flowing and how I feel. But I definitely talk with our defense too. I talk with Coach Clark, hey, you comfortable with this? And, if we go for it here and that kind of thing too, and go from there. But I'd say probably the game flow.
Okay. Coach, I know we're still in it to win it, but you guys were selected for the Super Region 4. Did that kind of surprise you? And how do you go from there? Do you still think your season will continue?
It comes down to, it's out of our control in that part. But I tell our guys that I'm very honest with our players about that. I'm not going to try to trick them into think that, hey, we went out and playoffs are there, because that's not the case. We went out and then there's some help down the road. I mean, it's potential on that part. But so that's how you got to play it. But at the end of the day, we have to go out and control what we can control. If it wasn't our control 100%, we went out and we're in, yeah, I'd be using that, but it's not. We need some help along the way with it, and kind of see how these next 2 weeks of the season play out. And we've had our opportunities throughout the season, and we'll see how things play out. But definitely, it didn't surprise me that we're still in the top 10 because we played really good schedule and lost some tight games. So that's what it comes down to. But we'll see how things work out, and we can live with both of them.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Y'all take care.
You too.
Happy birthday.